good? All right, so it's July 8th, 2025, 6 p.m. We're going to call this public hearing, this session. We're going to call this meeting to order. And everybody signed the sign-in sheet, everybody that's here, even those that are out in the audience here. We have to make sure everybody has signed in to keep us legal. I have not seen any sign-in sheets. Was there any citizens input? Anybody that wanted to speak as a citizen?
Yes.
You do have one?
I'm sorry. You want it in the regular session? Yeah. She wants that.
Oh, this is a regular session? Okay. Okay, no problem.
Okay, got it.
Someone here. And so we'll go into the public hearing. Is there anybody that has any questions or any concerns before we go into that part of it? No? Everybody got all your information on the public hearing? Understands it, looked through it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll start with A, site plans at 108 Kings Bridge, West Tawakoni, Texas, 75474. Legal description is S2157, B Tree Investment. Add lot 1 acre, 1.428 is the actual size of that lot. Property ID is 101797. And 112 Kingsbridge Road, West Tawakoni, Texas, 75474. Legal description is S2157, B Tree Investment. Lot 2 acres. One property ID 238498, zone single family. That's SF2, single family 2. And request to be approved, or to approve the site plans. Everybody have that site plan? Yeah. I believe it's this site plan.
This one.
Oh, the site plan.
Yeah, that top one you've got in your hand there
That's
is
the actual
for later.
Yeah.
And they're actually not here.
They're not here?
Over here. They're not here yet.
Would any of y'all have questions for them if they were here? I don't think we ran any of this. P&Z didn't have to do anything with this, did they? No?
You've heard this before.
I mean, P&Z saw all of these.
Right, in the beginning.
They saw it Thursday.
So they did.
Mhm.
Is there anything P&Z has to share on it? Do you know it?
I think the only thing we saw was that one of the houses on lot 10 did not meet setback requirements. They said they were going to revise them. I'm not sure if they did that.
I think they didn't have the setback on the site plan.
I think they had the building
Yeah.
right on the line.
See that, that's on the property line.
Right. So if we make a motion to approve this one, they fix that and then follow our consultant's recommendations for type of.
You said it was lot 18?
Okay.
I think it was 10.
Okay. I was like, I don't see it.
So it's on the property line. So.
And this one, we did the replat already. This is the one where they had 6 lots on each side, and then we had them do 5 instead to meet setback requirements. And one of theirs on this was missing. Oh, yeah, they didn't take a ledger either. Mhm.
So no discussion, nobody has anything they want to ask or talk about on that? I mean, with them not here, we can't really discuss with them. We're gonna skip past B. I'm not sure, I don't know if you said why,
We don't have the documents.
don't have the documents, okay.
But two striking, we don't have documents on either one.
So that'll take us to C, which is a rezone of 140 West Highway 276, West Swanton, Texas, 75474. Excuse me. Legal description is A0418, Hazel Zachariah Tract, 6-1 acres is .951. Property ID is 101884, zone commercial, which is zone C, in the front of a single family SF2 on the back half. The request is to rezone the entire property to commercial. So right now, this is just public hearing, letting everybody know this stuff will also be in our regular section meeting to converse more and vote on.
I'm happy to answer any
Are you
questions.
here? Okay, so somebody is here. Anybody got any questions about this? I mean,
What's the plan for this place?
That's what I
Once
was
you
gonna ask.
convert it into commercial, what do you plan to do there?
Yeah, mini warehouse, self-storage.
Oh, self-storage?
and so the total property size would end up being just short of an acre, is that right?
Yeah, the lot is 0.95 acres.
And it's on the highway, right, 276?
Yes, sir.
This is on the corner of Harrelson and 276. So where the tire shop is, it's directly across from the tire shop, on the same side of the road.
And I forgot one thing. So, we did act on this to approve the commercial based on the future land use map. But, the zoning ordinance does require a special use permit for self-storage. So they would have to come back and get a special use.
Right.
That's usually-
Yeah, and that would be caught, if they were to come up and try to get permits or whatever, that would be caught at that point as well. So, okay. All right, so we'll just move unless there's any other questions or discussion. Anybody else got any questions? So we'll move on to D. This is a replat, Highway 276, West Tawakoni, Texas, 75474. Am I missing something here? There's no address.
That's because it doesn't have an address yet.
Okay. Oh, really?
So this is Dobecca, across
Oh,
from H&F.
okay, yeah.
This is
So,
the
yeah.
large parcel where the commercial is down that side, and then the rest of it
Yeah.
will come later.
To the west of what a lot of us will know as Tawakoni
Auto parts.
Auto Parts. Brain was locked up. Sorry. So legal description for this property is A0102. Borrow Peter Track E. Acres is 0.5. It'd be bigger than that. Property ID is 2172, zone commercial, and that's C. For the first 200 feet of the remaining of the property, zone single family 2, so SF2. The request is to grant a replat of this property into 6 lots.
Excuse me, sir. I think I missed my chance to do the citizen input on this topic.
Are you?
I don't own the property, I own
Okay.
a neighboring property.
Okay.
I've just never been here, I think I missed, did it say something?
I understand. I mean, as long as the council is okay with it, we'll get you to fill out a sheet, and I don't see it being an issue. We're still here in this same meeting, so
We got a sheet. Get that from
I don't
the-
object to it, sir. I'd like everybody to be able to have their time.
And
in
he's
the
here for D
spotlight.
also.
What?
Our guy's here for D, for the
Okay,
replat.
sorry, I shouldn't have said what. I should have said something different.
You're fine.
We can go whenever you want, as long as you just state your name and you get that over to her.
Yeah. Get that to me, Lola.
Good thing. My name's Evan Kramer. My wife and I and our 2 little kids recently bought 5 acres on Killian concern was the size and the amount of parcels that they're planning on putting in there. Half an acre minus the 200 for the structure, the business that's there. Guessing that leaves about, 0.3 acres. And I'm wondering what type of homes, residences, structures are we realistically expecting to go on 6 lots? Without, while maintaining, city ordinances and everything.
Yes, sir.
And I'm just concerned on kind of like the monopoly effect, like fitting 5 little greenhouses on one lot. That's good for 2 hotels.
Yes, sir.
I think it could still suit everybody's best interest instead of breaking down into 6 lots. What if we break it down into 2 lots that are 3 times as big? So we get 2 potential nice sized houses to go on those lots and kind of go towards a step towards like quality over quantity when rebuilding that section of West Baltimore. And my interests are selfish. I just want something that's aesthetic to look at. I don't want a whole bunch of houses and just if a small house, I believe, in my opinion, is more susceptible to go to waste than a larger, well put together house on a bigger property. And I mean, if the seller or the buyer, whoever, I feel they'll get the same amount of money for 2 lots that are larger than 6 lots that are smaller. And I don't know, it just, to me, I feel like we have less risk for error or the unknown happening or just issues if you just have a realistic property size for a house to go in for the future. That's just my only concern there. And I wanted to verify these houses or properties will be on Rebecca, not Killian. Those are my main concerns.
And just to make sure you understand how this part of it works, when it's citizens input, we can't banter back and forth.
I hear you. I understand.
So, didn't want you to think we were all just being rude, just sitting up here. No, we're listening to you. And then the gentleman in the back that is working on that property, he is as well. So when we move back into this, then we'll let him speak. Thank you. Okay. Does anybody have any questions or is there some discussion on this?
So you should know this is already zoned SF2, so they're only required per our zoning to have 4,800 square foot lots.
And then 6 lots plus the front building, that still allows the 4,800 square foot lots, right?
The survey company actually called me to discuss this one, and I gave them the requirements, including not being able to use more than a certain amount of property to build the home. These houses, this is the same builder that is building on 113 Seagrove currently, and that house is, 85, 90% done? I mean, it's pretty close, right?
That's
So if you want an
potentially
idea.
what the neighborhood is gonna look like, so Mike can speak for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, that's the
so
subject
to,
we're on.
Address his concerns, all the lots, like she was saying, are over 6,500 square feet, when how I'm dividing it. The house that sits on 113 Seagrove right now is, as she said, 95% complete. You are all welcome to go and take a look at it. I've been building homes for a couple of years. All my homes are turnkey. I put everything state of the art, everything high class, nothing cheap. You're more than welcome to explore my homes. That one's going to be an Airbnb, and the rest of them are going to be residential to live in. That home has 2 bedrooms and an office space. It's 1,250 square feet, and it's got a terrace, patio out front, nice sized property in the front, which that property and that style is going to be replicated in the Brookhaven neighborhood.
silence, I'm thinking that means I can move on to the next one. So we're gonna also skip past C, because we do not have that information as well, correct?
Right.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
E.
E,
Oh,
sorry.
never mind, never
I
mind.
looked
We've
at it.
already done C, we've done D, so it would be E. And I guess that's gonna take us to number 5. So, it's gonna take us to number 5. You got a motion to close?
Public hearing, yes.
Motion.
And
The motion?
Motion closed.
he made the motion, I need a
Second.
second. I got a second by Chris.
Judge Gobi,
Rankin.
Greg Sprinkle,
Vincent.
Chris Burkett.
All right, and they're all in favor. Okay, well,
6:16.
are we going to, do something over there with that?
What do you wanna do with that? 'Cause we can't do it until 10
7.
o'clock. I was afraid of this.
All right, so it is 7 p.m. We're going to go ahead and get our regular session started. We're going to call this meeting to order. We'll start out with the invocation and go to pledge of allegiance. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we just ask you that you be with us today and help us make decisions, Lord. I ask that you protect everybody that's here if these storms are coming and get everybody home safely. I want to pray for our Public Works Department and our Police Department and our city workers to be with them every day to help them take care of our city and watch over all of our affairs for the city here. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Any announcements? None? No? No announcements?
You want me to read this and announcement?
Absolutely, you can.
Okay.
I was going to make a mention of that, but
Okay.
I'll let you.
So basically, I wrote a thing to the mayor and the council and citizens, just to let y'all know about the event that happened this past weekend. I don't know if anybody knew about the Naughty Water Racing event that happened at City Park. So I wrote this. It says, I'd like to take a moment to recognize and commend the outstanding success of the Naughty Water Racing event held this past weekend, July 4th through the 6th at our City Park. Throughout the event, the competitors, the families, and associated vendors demonstrated tremendous respect and care for our public space. Their conduct was exemplary, courteous, responsible, and highly appreciative of hospitality extended by the city of West Tawakoni. Many of the racers and vendors I spoke with personally, and there were quite a few, expressed how impressed they were with our park. Several referred to it as the nicest venue they've ever competed at, and they were very vocal in their enthusiasm for returning in the future. Their feedback speaks volumes about the hard work we've invested in maintaining and improving the cherished space. After the final race on Sunday, I conducted a drive-through of the park. I was pleased to observe that it remained clean, orderly, and undamaged, a testament to the pride our visitors took in their presence here. Local businesses also benefit from the influx of visitors. At one point, Billy's Gas experienced a brief sellout of certain items due to high demand, which serves as a tangible indicator of the event's positive economic impact. Just as importantly, there were no incidents or behavioral concerns reported throughout the weekend. Everyone involved contributed to a safe, family-friendly atmosphere that reflected positively on our city. We look forward to welcoming the Naughty Water Racing event back in the future and continue to showcase West Tawakoni as a premier destination for family-oriented recreational events. And keep in mind that these participants came from all around the U.S. Tennessee, Kansas City, Arizona. There was one that was actually from out of country, but they actually live here now. And there was a lot of locals as well, but they did travel from distance to come here to do this. So.
Yeah, I experienced it myself, and it was a really cool event. It was really nice to see our park full of people, and quite honestly, everybody was very respectful. I mean, you know, I think I've seen Paul several times throughout the weekend. I'm like, okay, how's it going? Any calls? Any this? And he's like, nothing. It's been great, you know. And then talking to the promoters and different people there, asking, hey, y'all need anything? They didn't need anything. Hey, no, y'all are good. We appreciate everything. So it was a really good event, really good experience. Met some people there, and as far as I know, they're gonna plan on putting us on their tour. So we're gonna be part of their tour, part of their circuit tour, whatever you want to call it. They want to be here every year from now on. They're gonna circle through here and blast our waters and move on to their next stop. So cool stuff.
Kudos to our citizens too on Saturday night that came out for the fireworks show, that they were well behaved as well. Not, it wasn't, because the park was packed,
Oh
but it was, it wasn't packed with just out of towners. It was our local citizens too that came out. They all behaved really well and left the park in a nice clean way as well. So kudos to them. Or us, I guess.
Oh, much better. You got
Second that.
I put him on the spot.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a motion, Ramsey. I'm sorry, buddy.
No, I agree with everything that both of them were saying. Our house is right there by it. It was peaceful, clean,
Yeah.
quiet. Well, not real quiet, but
Yeah.
It was quiet enough.
They
yeah,
had some music.
it was quiet enough.
Well, to
I enjoyed it.
just to know how many people, that's probably the most people we've seen in our park in a long,
Oh, yeah.
as long as I've been here anyways, and for it to stay undamaged and clean. says a
But
lot.
in Ruley,
Mhm.
right? In Ruley, that was my fear because people were drinking alcohol, right? And it stayed Ruley. That was a good
And the
thing.
Public Works guys did a great job getting the park ready for them.
Oh, it
It
looked
looked
good.
great. It looked great on Thursday when they were done prepping for
It
them to
looked
show up. So JD, your crew did a great job too.
Looked very good. What you got?
I got nothing.
Come on. Seriously? The biggest water leak that you've seen since you've been here?
Oh, yeah, I did have that.
Come on, man. You sent me a picture. The water was,
Oh, no, that's not, the 10-inch was worse than that.
you know, so, I mean, oh, yeah, that's right. That was a 4-inch or something, wasn't it? Or 3-inch.
We had
Yeah,
two back
6
to back.
6, okay. But yeah, I mean, biggest water leak since you've been here, right? That's an announcement. Y'all fixed the biggest water leak since you've been here?
I mean, we didn't completely run out. I turned off town before I knew we were about to run out, so I just turned it off so we can keep our towers full.
Right.
And then once we turned it back on, it
Yeah.
filled everything up.
Okay. All right. I'll quit messing with it.
Yeah, big water leak.
We got citizens input. We do have 2 citizens. Let me see, are these both related? That one should be. Okay, so one of them we have is related, one of them we have is not related. Do we want to go ahead and just go through with both citizens input now? Instead of making a citizen wait until the end that's not related?
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna start with Cecilia Urban, is that right? Yep, I said that right. Better get my little handy dandy timer dude thing going.
Yes. This is just really a pep talk for everyone because I call it design with a purpose. And so we're on a journey in our small area of land that we have to develop and envision Highway 276 with hotels and businesses and restaurants and events and services for a lake community that draws people in. I mean, that's our goal. I think everybody kind of is on the same page with that. So anyway, like we were just talking about the jet ski event we had at the city park drew in a lot of people. They need hotels to stay in, okay? The golf course is developing, and that'll potentially bring in great tournaments, golf tournaments. They need hotels and restaurants. So Lake Tawakoni is known for catfish and fishing tournaments. They need hotels and restaurants. So the food truck area is starting up, and that's exciting because it's a place for people to gather, and you can just go out and hang out at the picnic tables, or you know, the bounce house was out there, so all that kind of stuff's going on. Anyway, so we have a lot of great committees trying to improve our city. Our hardworking code enforcer lady, Shannon, is working diligently to clean up some areas that are out of control. Our faithful Keep West Walking Beautiful have great ideas. We just have to figure out how to help find people that want to help. You know, I mean, that's always hard to find the volunteers. But I don't know if what we can do, we need to pull our heads together because they do a lot around here, you know, and there'll be more to do. And our EDC committee can pull businesses, you know, but we need a development plan. And when we, I think, do our next workshop gathering, it would be nice to actually try to do some developing planning and talk about how we envision our main street of 276 to look, how we want that to be. Housing developments are starting. That's exciting. And so, like, when you're driving into West Tawakoni from Quinlan, it's our chance to draw people in. I mean, when they come through, they want to see things going on. This is a lake community, right? So, Highway 276 is our main event. Let's make sure that visually draws people in and makes them want to stay here and be here. We can develop industrial or metal buildings in an area, but let's just not make it like the main thoroughfare. Let's kind of find a place for it as we do all of our rezoning that we're working on. So anyway, bringing in new businesses, restaurants, services, and housing will provide income for the city that we desperately need for the water and the sewer and the road improvements and maybe a new city hall. That could be a thing. And anyway, so we have to balance, businesses, housing, and location is always the trick of everything. And if anybody's a realtor or anything, they'll know. Anyway, let's just make it beautiful.
Thank you.
Hey, Kevin, I have an announcement. If I can get where it's not out of order.
Oh, man.
I just thought of it. She reminded me of something.
You're gonna get all called up to the office.
You know,
Nope. Greg said he had an announcement that he just remembered.
just in case you haven't seen it and haven't heard about it, you reminded me with the Keep West Tawakoni Beautiful group. They are receiving trees to give away again on July 26th at 1052 East Highway 276. I believe they're getting 226 trees.
200 and something.
200 and something trees, and they'll be free to residents. So there will be fruit trees, there will be oak, different types of trees, and they're all free. They did it at the Catfish Festival, and there were about 70 trees, I think, that they were able to give away. And everybody that came up and said they wanted a tree got a tree.
They go quick.
So come get a free tree.
When?
It's corner of Blaylock and 276, or Waterline and 276.
Oh, 1052 East Highway
1052 East
276.
Highway 276.
Yes, there's
What
a
day
sign
is
there
it?
that says
What day?
county.
It's Saturday,
Truck for
July
It's
26th.
right there at Chow Camp.
It's right there at Chow Camp on the grassy knoll next to it.
Is there a specific time?
I did not see a time, but I'm going to say probably around 10 a.m. will be the start.
Okay.
It's been posted on Facebook a couple of times. So come get a free tree.
Yeah, I think
Thank you.
most of those trees are 15-gallon containers, so they're good, they're gonna be good sized trees.
All right. So,
Have an apple.
Mr. Terrence Smith, go ahead and let you come up and speak, please.
I don't want to waste a whole lot of people's time here, but I just have a small little personal issue, I guess, because it's a city sewer line. I guess it's got a cap on it. On the lot next to me, it's on the south side of the street. Anyway, water, sewage, smells like sewage is bubbling up on that cap. I called a couple of times and the city came out and looked at it, but I don't see anything getting done, and that smell is coming up into my place. So I just like to see if maybe you could throw some lime on it. Maybe there's not anything you can do to unplug that line. I don't know what that line is for, and I don't know if the city knows what it's for either, but I know that sewage is bubbling up out of there, and it's going downhill right past my neighbor's place. I'm sure he don't appreciate that going at the end of his driveway. But I don't want to waste all your time on a little project. My sewer's not backing up or nothing like that, but the smell is kind of bad, and that going down the street there, that can't be a good thing. So anyway, that's all. I'm gonna cut this one short. If I can.
Okay. Thank you, sir. All right.
I know
Yeah,
where
she
his
has
property-
the
I
address.
have that.
He wrote the address on that sheet there. So that was all the citizens input sheets you had, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That'll take us to number 6, the consent agenda items.
Mayor, being the late hour that we got this packet, I didn't get a chance to really go through the consent agenda items.
can we table that until the next meeting? I don't know if you guys had a chance, but.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that person. I didn't give it time. I feel good about it.
I did not. I'm not gonna tell you I looked at them because I was driving this afternoon. I mean, I was coming back from Oklahoma, so I think I got home about 5:15. So.
It's up to y'all. I'd like to make the motion, but I didn't get a chance to, so I wouldn't be comfortable making a vote on it.
So is that a motion
It
to
is a
table
motion
those?
to table it until the next meeting.
I'll second that.
You got votes?
Chad Jacoby. Greg Sprinkle.
James Shem.
Chris Burkett.
And that motion passed across the table. Okay, that'll take us to number 7, which is old business, discussion and or action to approve or deny ordinance number. Hang on. Okay. Make sure I wouldn't read the wrong one. Sorry. I'll start over. Discussion or action to approve or deny ordinance number 331-06-10-2025. An ordinance of the city of West Suwannee adopting rules and regulations for the use of public parks within the city of West Suwannee, Texas, providing a penalty in the amount not to exceed $500 for any violation, providing a repealer clause, a severability clause, and a savings clause, and setting an effective date. Does everybody remember this?
So this is the old one, isn't it?
Yeah, that looks like, we're looking at 2018. It's
This is the old one for that.
Where's the new one?
It's not ordinance
The
125.
new one's not in there because we were making some edits and then we,
2019. We do in the park ordinance have a separate, that we would repeal anything that was in conflict. I think the only thing is we didn't get any changes to what the fee schedule would be, and I don't know if anybody had any proposed changes to that.
Well, the one that has been found was 2018. There it said that there's a 2019. So, I mean,
The way that really works is, like I said, it would repeal any other, I mean, we could conceivably go in and be specific as to what other ordinances it would specifically repeal, but it would repeal anything in conflict with it.
okay. But I mean, there's not really, is there an idea or proposed rates that we're talking about, or?
I filled in some number, there were already some in place, and then I filled in for, like, when we were talking about adding the whole park, I did kind of go, well, I think this is kind of a general amount, but I don't know if that's like that was the amount that you guys wanted to use or not.
Unfortunately, though, we don't have that. We don't have whatever this filled-in amount, or the 331-06-10-2025, so none of us have that.
Oh,
No.
okay.
No.
So, I mean,
Okay, well, I think I sent that one back
That's
right
good.
after the last meeting, and I think we had some back and forth if there may be any other changes, but I don't, like, we wouldn't necessarily want to put things like speed limits in the park ordinance, because we have the authority to set that. That's not a big deal.
does not have it.
I thought there was something said about us not being able to rent out the whole park as well.
Hmm?
I thought there was something in place that said we can't rent out the whole park and shut it out down to the public.
Y'all just did that, though.
No, it's not shut down.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you can reserve all the spots.
Yeah,
but
you can
I don't
reserve
think
the
you can close
spots.
it. I don't think you can close the park to the public.
Yeah, the park's gotta remain, because it's an open, it's an open, park.
It's okay, we'll let for next.
Well, that's what that, like I said, that whole park is, it's really structured to say, okay, you're renting out all of these spaces, basically.
But unfortunately, we don't have that.
We don't have it,
Nobody
so-
nobody has a copy of that to look at, so I mean, is there any discussions or suggestions?
I would have to say that we make a motion to table it as well until we get it.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Chris, seconded by James.
Chad Jacoby.
Greg Sprinkle.
James Shem.
Chris Burkett.
And they're all in favor. So that's gonna take us to number 8, which is new business. we've got items A through H. Right, yep. No, I didn't realize that long. Okay, items A through,
So B and E, we still don't have that,
Okay.
right?
Correct.
A through K.
yeah. So that's all of our new businesses, is A through K. So starting with number 8A, that was some of the stuff that was in our public hearing. And I think it's the things that were here and that was also sent to us today, right? Yeah, almost, I think I was looking through it when we got here. So this stuff was actually sent to us, but then y'all took the liberty and printed it out too.
Yeah, I was trying to make that part easier.
Right, yeah.
Sometimes it's easier to be able to
Oh,
see what.
I like seeing it on paper, but you know, I think it's good that we're trying to get away from the paper as much as possible because it will save something. Might just be a twig, but we did our part. So, I mean, we can start with A, and so it's discussion interaction to approve or deny the site plans for 108 Kingsbridge Road, West Tawakoni, Texas, 75474. Legal description is S2157, Bee Tree Investment, Lot 1, and it's 1.428 acres. Property ID is 101797, and 112 Kingsbridge Road, West Tawakoni, Texas, 754. Legal description is S2157, Bee Tree Investment, Lot 2, acres is 1. Property ID is 2388498, and it is zone single family 2, so SF2. And the request is to approve the site plans that we spoke about in the public hearing.
Well, I think they gotta bring it back to us with it fixed.
Yeah.
Right, I think there was one of the houses that were off,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So off the property line.
Lot number 10, right? It's to be moved.
So we're wanting to approve it or ask for it to be brought back with it.
It needs to be
Correct?
fixed. It's
It
on the
needs to-
property line.
Needs to come back with it being fixed.
Is there a motion?
So we'll make a motion to have the DDS group come back with a new plan for lot number 10 with the right setbacks.
Second that.
A second? Okay, we got a vote?
Judge Goodwin.
You abstain?
Greg Sprinkle.
James,
Chris Burkett.
So you got all those votes? Ramsey abstained?
Yes.
Okay. So we're skipping B, because we did not have that information tonight. Takes us to C. Discussion and or action to approve or deny the rezone of 140 West Highway 276, West Tawakoni, Texas, 75474. Legal description is A0418 Hazel Zachariah Tract 6-1. Acres is .951. Property ID is 101884. Zone commercial, so that's C zoning. In the front of single family SF2 on the back half. The request is to rezone the entire commercial property C. So we're wanting to zone it all to commercial property. Okay. We did have a gentleman that spoke during the public hearing. Y'all want him to get up and talk about that? I think we were saying it was going to be a self-storage, right?
Yes, sir.
So
well, this one is just rezoning. That's all we're doing right now.
rezoning,
Right?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. To zone that, part of it's already commercial, and then they're wanting to take the whole property and make it one commercial property, big enough to be able to build these buildings on which I know there's going to have to
Which
be.
our future land use map.
Yeah, our
which we
future
should
land use-
adopt
right,
next month.
right.
That's
It's already
how it
showing,
is.
so that fits into our future plan, so.
I'll make a motion to rezone the entire property as commercial
Okay.
property.
A second.
Motion made by James, seconded by
Judge
Greg.
Goodwin.
Greg Schmidt.
James Shen.
Chris Burkett.
So you got those votes? Okay. So that'll take us to item D, discussion and or action to approve or deny the replat of Highway 276 West Tawakoni, Texas, 75474. Legal description is A0102. Borrow Peter, tract E. Acres is 0.5. Property ID is 2172. Zone commercial. That's C zoning. For the first 200 feet and the remaining property zone single family SF2, the request is to grant a replat of the properties into 6 lots.
Where does this fall in the future land use? My concern is that we're doing a lot of replats
Stays
and
single family.
Yeah,
And that's my problem, is we're doing all sorts of changes here, and I don't know.
it's single family already.
It's already single
That
family.
area is single family, but it's single family and
It's
two-
just single family. We
Yeah.
don't have like, that future land map isn't broke down into different zonings of single family. It's just all single family
different types
right
of single
now.
family. It just says
Yes,
single
it
family.
shows. And currently, it's zoned single family. It's zoned SF4.
Can you show
Sorry,
it?
SF2.
Can you show where that is?
It's right here.
Right there, right there.
It's this piece, right?
Right. So we'll still get a chance to approve the plans, right? So
you're
this is
talking about,
just replatting.
you're talking about the houses? I
No,
mean, the houses, well, they would just have to fit, they'd have to fall into our standards, right?
Right.
I mean, we have standards, we have lot sizes, I mean, so these lot sizes that they're asking for are gonna be no different. So this is not anything extenuating different than what we require now. It's 40,
we require 4,800, and I
4,800, and I
think
think
these were
these are
6,500, so
Is
they're
that
already
right?
bigger than that
They're,
zoning requirement.
between 67 and 65.
yeah,
On the
so
back one. The
so
front
call
one
it
is a little
60.
bit bigger.
call it 6,500, which is above what the zoning is.
Right.
I mean, they're zoned for 4,800 square foot lots, so these are going to be 6,500 square foot lots. And I believe the houses in the meeting prior, didn't you say the houses were going to be somewhere around the 1,200 square foot?
Yes.
So
The 113 C growth is already there, so I understand you guys want to see. I don't have the site plan yet, but I should have it tomorrow. But the houses that I'm planning to put there's already one sitting there. It's 95% complete. It's like I was saying, it's 2 bedrooms, the office space, it's almost 1,300 square feet, 2 stories, has a terrace. Everything is. That's basically the model. What's already sitting there.
Are they going to face Seagrove or are they going to face
That one's
go
face-
back?
That one faces Seagrove. Yeah, that's 113 Seagrove, which is a different property all entirely. The property that we're talking about is behind the red shop. That's across the street from the food court, basically. Right. So behind the red shop is a blue house that I'm planning to remodel and then put the houses. Like, so they'll be facing Dobeka.
Yeah.
They'll be facing Dobeka because I'm gonna put in, as you see on the E-plat, the road, right, and then the sewer line. I'm putting infrastructure in to accommodate for the houses.
So your site plan will probably be on August.
Right.
But that site plan is only coming before you guys because he has to put city infrastructure in.
Right.
So he'll have to put in water and sewer, which will extend into the county portion also, so you'll see all of that, because he plans to build the houses on the county portion also.
So it'll all become part of the city.
14 homes altogether there.
It'll all become part of the city, right?
The back half is not city,
yeah,
but it's in our ETJ.
yeah, down at the end of it is not in the city, it's in our ETJ, so he's discussing that with us, and he will be tying into our infrastructure to feed those houses or to take on.
What's the possibility of annexing it in?
I'm not.
Good thought.
Good thought. Keep that in
Yeah.
mind if you don't mind.
Good thought.
Is there any other discussion, or is there a motion to entertain on this one?
My concern is
Or
with the,
suggestions?
my concern is with the size of the lots and the size of the houses again, and they're the ones that are right on 276 or right off of 276. And I'm concerned that we're using what little land we have left.
Well, none of these will be on 276.
Right, but they're right behind 276. But it's still the small, 1,200 square foot home on a 6,000 square foot lot. Are we just building small houses in West Washington? Is that the only thing that we're building, or?
Well, I think in your SF2, what's the largest house on the SF?
1,000.
No, the largest.
There's not a largest, there's a
There's
minimum.
not? Okay, so, but I mean, in reality, your SF2, I mean, those lots, none of them usually get much bigger than about 8,000 or 9, maybe, somewhere in that. I mean,
And again, you have to remember, it's already zoned to this.
The footprint,
yeah, it's
is
already
basically-
zoned
Is it
for that.
two-story?
Yes, they're all gonna be 2 stories, so the footprint is only a
Yeah.
26 by 36 flat.
Yeah, the property is already zoned for SF2, so we're not changing zoning, right? All we're doing is replating from 2 lots into 6 lots. So technically, right now, yes, what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong. What I'm hearing you say is right now that we could build 2 larger houses there, right?
Correct, or
But-
3 larger houses.
3 larger houses, but what I would say is look at your surroundings of that area. Would those larger houses fit in that area as far as aesthetically, right? Because there's other houses already around. I think there's that
Right,
area
that-
has some mobile, isn't there some mobile
There's a
homes?
mobile home park.
There's some mobile homes there. You know, that,
Seagrove.
no, the mobile home park that's what he's building. All those
In the back of that.
trailers, he's building down that road.
Right.
So you see the shop, and then there's gonna be house.
All the way
Right.
to the red house. I'm gonna demolish the red house in the back and all the sheds, clean everything up, put street lights, right, all in front of every single house. I'm planning the front shop, eventually, we're gonna remodel it and make it some type of business.
Make it a commercial
Yeah,
space.
make it a commercial space, future business coming there. And like I'm planning to put 14 homes all the way to the back and making all of that space into the 3 acres that are there into a neighborhood with its own common area, because there's a lot that's too small to build on, and I don't want to put a tiny home on it, so there's going to be a common area with a gazebo, a picnic table, a little area for family to gather.
Am I allowed to ask how wide the proposed lots are? I heard you say the footprint of the foundation is 26 by 36. What are the lots going to be? And is there enough room? 60 what?
6,700.
No, I know, but the
So
dimensions.
actually, unfortunately, sir, we can't do that since he is the builder and he is on our agenda. Then we can converse back and forth
Oh,
with
okay,
him.
I'm sorry. I
And
just want to make sure they
right, and-
fit in with the ordinances.
and I
on the
apologize.
tiny
Well,
lots.
we would, I don't mind talking to you afterwards, and I'm sure he wouldn't either. But, unfortunately, we have to have somebody on the agenda. I mean, kind of like your sign-in earlier. But, that's just kind of the rules we have to follow. But the lots you said are 6,500, let's just call them 6,500, 6,700, 6,800, there's different sizes. The required, I'll make sure and state again, the required lot size for what that zone is already setting at, which is SF2, the required lot size is 4,800. So, and we do have quite a few of those in our city. I mean, there's some in my neighborhood. I live,
Yours is
on the other
SF2.
side, and I'm SF2, but there's some lots in my neighborhood that are right there at that minimum, 48 something or 4,900. And it sounds like a small lot, but I mean, there's houses on lots that size in my neighborhood and all over our city. There are houses that are on lots that are under 5,000 square feet. When you start looking at, say, a house is, I think these are 2-story, if I remember you saying right. So your footprint is only,
36 by 26.
yeah, it's only 600 square feet
Basically.
thereabouts
Yes, sir.
because you're going 2-story.
Yes.
So that helps make maybe the lot look bigger, I guess, is what we're going for there.
For sure. There's gonna be a big yard, big front yard.
Right.
Because since they're gonna be facing Delbeca, right, so I'm gonna back them right as close as I can to Killian. So the front yard is gonna be a decent
Yeah, I
size,
mean, and we have setbacks that you have to
Yeah.
follow there.
for sure, which are on the rear side.
Right.
I have a space where I can build a home.
And there's a proposed road here.
Rebecca's already a road.
Yeah.
There's already a road there.
But you're planning to keep that a private road, right?
Yes. The backup property is gonna stay private, and I'm just gonna.
So if that stays a private road, does the city have an obligation to maintain that private road?
No.
No.
No, it would have an easement, and it should be worked in, there should be an easement worked in where the property owners are responsible for that road.
It sure seems confusing.
Which is the same way Killian
You
is
don't
done.
have that, right, printed?
We have some other areas in our city that are like that.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I just wonder a generation from now, what's gonna happen to that? Because at some point, somebody's gonna forget that that's a private road and they're gonna expect the city to maintain it.
They really shouldn't though, because that's part of their deeds.
Yeah, it's all on your deed. It
Yeah.
shows on your deed.
They're definitely informed when they purchase a home that has a private
Oh,
road.
yeah.
This is your
Well, I mean, you can look it up on the appraisal district and see all that. It's open record. Anybody can pull it up on your phone even. Are we stuck on this one? Is there any other discussions or thoughts or, I mean,
I think he's within the rights to do this, isn't it?
He is.
I mean, based on the laws or
I mean,
regulations we have.
the sizes fit the parameters of what we have set within our city. Yes. But, I mean, it's still at council's.
I make a motion, we approve the replat.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Chris, seconded by Jacoby.
Judge Kobe.
Yeah, sure.
Chris Burkett.
Did you get your votes? Okay. All right, so that takes us to item F, discussion and action to approve the city, I'm sorry, I should have said. E, we do not have that information, so I've got it crossed out on mine, but everybody probably doesn't have it on there. So E we're moving past that because we didn't have that information. Am I correct, ladies?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Moves us to item F, discussion and action to approve the city applying for a Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs grant to provide decent, safe, sanitary, and affordable housing for low-income homeowners presented by Home Program Consultant.
Mayor and council, thanks for having me tonight. I have talked to y'all before, but I think there's a lot of new council members. I wanted to explain the program to you. I think there is some interest in the city applying for this. This is the HOME program. It's a grant program through the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs. It's for low-income homeowners living in substandard houses. And if they qualify for the program, the money is provided to tear down the existing house and build them a new house. And this is at no cost to the homeowner. It is a grant to them. They do have to sign a 5-year grant agreement so that if they sell the house within the first 5 years, they do have to pay a portion of that back to the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs. After the 5 years, that grant agreement expires, and then they can sell the house, rent it out, do whatever they want to with it. But this is a program, I've been doing this for a long time. It's been in existence probably for 30 years. I work all over this area. I'm doing this program in Quinlan right now. This is something that the city can apply for at any time. It is not a competitive grant. The city would just apply to be a participant in the HOME program. You're not applying for any specific amount of money or any specific number of houses that you think you're going to do. You just apply to become a participant. Then as people are qualified for the program, we give TDHC all their information, and at that point, the money is committed to do it. There is no match required for this grant. Y'all's population is less than 3,000, so TDHCA does not require a match. What you would do first, though, you do need to pass a resolution if you're interested in applying to apply for the program. Either the city or you could hire someone to write the grant application for you. Once you're approved, then you could hire a consultant to administer it, or you can administer the program yourself. That's up to you. So that's kind of a quick overview. Like I say, it is for low-income homeowners. They do have to live within the city limits. They do have to live in what is considered a substandard house, and TDHCA has an inspection checklist that an inspector would go through to confirm that it's substandard. They do have to have clear title to their property. They do either have to be current on their property taxes or have an agreement with the tax office to pay their taxes. So, like I say, and if they meet the requirements, then their house is torn down and a new one is built. They do have to make their own arrangements to live somewhere else while that's going on, though. So that's a quick explanation. If y'all have questions, though, let me know.
So you said we can even, or they can even build a new house, right?
It would be building a new house. The
So how much-
substandard house would be torn down and a new one would be built.
So what's the ceiling on the amount of money you can get?
You mean for the house
For
or?
building a house.
Okay, for a 3-bedroom house, the most that TDHC will allow is $175,000. For a 4-bedroom house, it's $200,000. And whether a family gets a 3-bedroom or a 4-bedroom is based on family size. If it's a family of less than 5, they get a 3-bedroom. If it's 5 or more, they get a 4-bedroom house.
Can you build a 3-bedroom house for $175,000?
Yeah, I mean, the money just went up. It has been $135,000, and that's what we're building. We built them in Quinlan for that. We're building one right now for that. There aren't any land costs. The lot's already there. So these houses do have to meet all, it's TDHCA uses 2017 International Residential Code. So that is what all houses are built to, unless the city has a more stringent code, then the houses would meet that.
And you had a valid question, but keep in mind, this is building the house, not building and selling,
Right,
right? So
right.
we gotta remember, there's a profit in
Sure.
houses when
Oh, yeah,
they're
yeah,
built.
sure.
That's true. And we do, when we get to the point, we do go out for bids. And like I say, so far, we have always been able to get builders to build it.
Y'all done it in Quinlan and other cities around. I think maybe possibly in
Here,
Hot Cove. Here,
Okay.
there's some
In
on
past years,
I
yeah.
think there's one on Hemlock.
Hemlock. There's 2 on
I think
Hemlock.
the second one on Hemlock on the left.
There's 2 on Hemlock.
Is there?
And I think y'all have the little flyer that I sent to Shannon, and it just shows some examples of the houses that we built. I mean, they're very simple 3-bedroom, 2-bath houses, but like I say, they are, built to code.
But it's better than the substandard house.
Right.
Standard,
Right.
right.
It is, like I say, they are built to code and they are nice houses.
So if they have a mobile home, y'all still,
They can be eligible. We would demolish the mobile home and build a house in its place.
Yeah, I mean, the key to it is they just gotta meet all the criteria. I mean, that's the main key to get it started, is to meet all the criteria.
Correct,
And
correct.
so in that 175,000, is the demolition part of that money?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, from my understanding, it's a turnkey thing. If someone meets their criteria, then the size house depends on
The family
the
size.
family size, right? So if all the criteria are met and they make arrangements to live somewhere else, they basically leave, and when they come back, they get a new house. In the short and skinny of it, that's how it works.
That's a
Meet
good
the
deal.
criteria, find a place to stay, come back to a new home. When they call you and say, hey, come move in.
What's the
And I will
downside?
tell you that this
The
actually,
I'll be honest with y'all. The downside is the criterias, right? The criterias, there is a stringent set of criteria, right? One may think or view them
Well,
as
owning your home outright is probably the most difficult one of all.
or
those.
taxes, or so there are criteria that have to be met, but it's not so to speak, to be stringent or make this hard to get. It's to make it all legal. Because somebody could get a house and inherit it from a family and they never transferred it in their name. It's still a substandard house. It doesn't mean that they wouldn't meet all the criteria, but it's that one. Right, you got to get it in your name.
Right, and that
So-
happens a lot. We deal with a
Right.
lot of people with inherited
Yeah.
property. But yeah, that is the biggest hurdle for most homeowners is getting clear title to the property. But we do work with them as much as we can to help them clear up their title issues and have clear title. So, but yeah, a lot of people will apply who will not be eligible. I
Right.
mean, probably, 50% or less will be
Clear title
eligible.
means mortgage free.
You can actually have a mortgage. That's kind of adds a little complication to it. You have to get permission from the lender to participate in the program. Sometimes the lenders will get permission, sometimes they won't. But that's another thing we work through with the applicants.
Okay. Well, that wasn't something that I remembered. I thought it had to be
Yeah, I
clear
didn't
from
know
the
that
mortgage. Ah,
This
okay, good.
actually came to me because a citizen asked about
Yeah.
it.
But
So that's how this
City of
came
Quinlan
back
has
to
done it,
us.
and we've done it in the past. Our administration.
So who does the project management of the house?
The consultant, if y'all, like I say, once you get approved for the program, if you decide to hire a consultant, the consultant would manage the whole program from beginning to end, getting the people qualified, procuring the contractor, overseeing construction. I don't know if y'all have an inspector on staff or if you hire someone
We
to
use
do
Bureau
that.
Veritas.
Okay, and that's who Quinlan uses too. So, but yeah, as the consultant, they would manage the whole program overall.
That comes out of the 175.
No,
No,
that's a
cost.
that's
That's
a
a cost by the city. The city.
no, it's not. No, it's not. No, the grant pays that too,
Right, I'm
but,
just saying,
but there's
through-
an extra. There's
Okay, so there's the 175 to build a house.
that's
and then
just for construction.
Right.
175. There's more money available in there for what they call soft costs, which are construction related costs, which is how consultants get paid. And there's also a general administrative fee, which is how the consultant gets
Right.
paid.
None of which is the city's responsibility.
Correct.
Well,
Correct.
it is the city's responsibility in the sense of getting everything lined up and getting the grant done. So the city has responsibility in it. It's just the money, and the money flows through the city. The city is involved in that grant, so the city has to, as steps go, the city is involved in getting those monies released for the consultant and so on and so forth.
It's like any other grant you do.
Right,
The city
right.
is ultimately responsible for all of it, but the money goes from the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs to the city. The city would pay the contractor, the city would pay the consultant.
But as far as cost to the city, coming out of the city's budget, no.
No, okay.
But it is handled.
There,
There's an
like I say,
application
the
fee.
grant does pay for that. There's not an application fee anymore.
Oh.
But there are some upfront costs that the city does have to incur. You do have to do a survey of the property. You have to do an appraisal. Sometimes there are closing costs that you have to pay up front. The city would have to pay those. If the person is qualified and we build them a house, you are reimbursed those costs. So if for some reason, this has happened to me, I've been doing this for a long time, hasn't happened very often, people have passed away before their house is built, and in that case, the city is not going to get reimbursed for upfront costs. If somebody backs out at the last minute, if they say they want to do it, but then they decide, right before we're ready to demolish their house, they don't want to do it, the city will not get reimbursed for like the appraisal and survey, things like that.
Not a huge amount, right? Just a few
I mean, it could be 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000 per house.
Why does the city cover that part of it?
Well, I mean, the surveyor's going to want to get paid for their work, as is the appraiser, as is the title company. Like I say, the state will reimburse those costs, but they don't pay them up front. The city pays them. I will do a
The city
draw
is
later and
responsible
get
for that
reimbursed.
Because this essentially is the city's project, because the city applied for the grant. The city, all the grant money is funneled through the city. So like you said earlier, the city is responsible for those things as far as handling that grant or managing that grant.
Yeah, and like I say, just those particular things, those people want to get paid when they do the work. And the city does get reimbursed for them, but they don't get reimbursed until later. So you do have to go ahead and pay those. But I don't incur those costs until I'm 99% sure that the homeowner is qualified and will be going through with it. So, but I'm just warning you,
Yep.
I've done this 25 years. It has happened 2 or 3 times over those, so I don't want to say, no, there's no way you're ever going to be out any money, because it is possible.
I mean,
It's not likely, but it is
lightning does-
possible.
Lightning does strike.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one.
All right,
So let's make a motion then.
thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And if y'all are interested, I'll send a resolution to Shannon or Mary, and then y'all can pass this at your next council meeting and then go from there.
So we have a special resolution that we have.
Yeah, there will be a resolution to apply for the program. Let me, while I'm thinking about that, let me explain one more thing to you. In the resolution, it does say that the city will have $80,000 in unrestricted funds to pay for things